The use of loaded conditioning activities to potentiate middle and long distance performance was explored by Richard Blagrove and colleagues in their narrative review published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research. First of all, a loaded conditioning activity involves using a high-intensity resistance exercise or adding load to a movement similar to the sport skill itself to elicit a short-term enhancement in neuromuscular function, known as post-activation potentiation. Despite the limited number of studies that have investigated loaded conditioning activities, the tentative conclusion from their review is that well-trained middle and long-distance athletes are likely to obtain some benefit by including a loaded conditioning activity in their warm-up routine, particularly during the early stages of a performance. This presentation, brought to you by Talking Sports Science, will provide a short summary of Blagrove and colleagues' practical recommendations. It is recommended that middle and long-distance athletes experiment with a warm-up protocol that first involves approximately between 5 to 10 minutes of self-paced low-intensity exercise, for example, exercising at 60% of heart rate max, or between 40 to 60% of peak power output. Following this initial low-intensity period, pre-performance preparation should include a higher intensity priming component, for example, between 3 to 6 minutes at 60 to 85% of peak power output to facilitate the oxygen kinetic response during the early stages of exercise. Following 5 to 10 minutes of passive recovery from this aerobic phase of the warm-up, a performance advantage is likely to be gained by performing a short bout of high-load resistance exercise. For example, performing the back squat and completing between 4 to 6 sets at a 5-rep max load, or alternatively performing 4 to 6 maximal sprint efforts lasting approximately 10 seconds, which include the addition of a light to moderate load. This will help to elicit a post-activation potentiation response. After the loaded conditioning activity, a 5 to 10 minute recovery period is then recommended to ensure that fatigue has dissipated sufficiently and to help achieve a performance benefit in both middle and the early stages of long-distance efforts. It should be highlighted the mechanisms underlying how loaded conditioning activities may positively affect middle and long-distance performance remain speculative. Therefore, more research in this area is needed. And that concludes this presentation. I recommend you check out the full article. The link is in the description. Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.